He just turned 14, and for winning a game, and was instantly spotted by the colonel of the combined fleet. The senior officer Evan decided immediately to train him to be the new commander-in-chief of the United Fleet in half a year's time, to train him to become the new commander-in-chief of the United Fleet. As long as he can win a special game in the end, he will be able to lead a 100,000 space fleet, attacking the insect hordes thousands of light years away. Even the MD-500 Star Destroyer cannon, which cost $700 billion to build, he'll be able to operate it at will. It turns out that 50 years ago, alien bugs suddenly invaded Earth for water. It was a matter of life and death. A commander risked death. He died with the bug mothership. In exchange, there was a brief period of peace between humans and the bugs. But the bugs didn't stop there. Instead, they gathered their army again after 50 years, ready to invade Earth at any time. And this time, the army, obviously several times more than 50 years ago. So the human race must strike first, in order to ensure that this battle is foolproof. That's why they decided to choose a more gifted teenage commander. After years of research, the United Fleet discovered many characteristics of the bugs. Everything their fleet does, including lives, are closely linked to the Queen. In other words, as long as they can take care of the Queen in battle, it would make the entire bug race cease to exist from then on. And so in the last half a month, Ender would lead his Flying Dragon battle team every day in the battle simulation training room, training endlessly. Ender was in charge of the whole situation as the commander-in-chief. Lily mastered the firing of the Star Destroyer cannon. The other members of the team each operated a 10,000-person combat team under Ender's leadership. They were in one simulated battle after another, defeating the bug army. With the gradual increase in difficulty, too focused, Ender still made a fatal mistake. For the first time, Ender's self-confidence took a hit. But now, he didn't have any more time to make any more mistakes, because tomorrow would be the final test for their team. His Flying Dragon battle team would be dealing with the insect horde simulated by the previous commander. Yet Ender would always have an inexplicable intuition. The colonel and the former commander seemed to be hiding a terrible truth from him. The next day, the final trial officially began. The teammates were already waiting in the war room. All the top human executives came to watch the battle. They set up the battlefield this time, set up in the vicinity of the insect race's home planet. But the strange thing is, the insect race army faced the incoming enemy. Not only did they not take the initiative to attack, and stopped at the same place, as if posing a posture of wanting to negotiate, the unknown teammates all turned their heads to look at Tender, and no longer hesitated, immediately set up a favorable formation, ready to attack at any time. All
groups deploy drones. Protect your carriers. Allied, your squadron 5.
All battle groups deploy drone as a protect your carrier. Some RL your squadron fire and or use the squadron as a price, attracting the scattered bug army to come together. Then, decisively ordered Lily to fire the Annihilator cannon that had finished gathering energy.
Fire now!
A tremendous amount of power was instantly fired. 50 billion a shot from the Star Destroyer cannon. There was not even a crumb left of the bug race army. However, there was an unusual movement from the insect race's home planet. It turns out, what Tender had just destroyed was only a vanguard. The real insect army only appeared at this time. Obviously, they have realized the terrifying power of the Star Destroyer cannon. That's why they launched their target to this horrible killing machine. Nowadays, to fire another cannonball, it needs to store energy for 90 seconds. So Ender decisively ordered tens of thousands of fighters, surround the Star Annihilator cannon in layers. Let them take the damage from the bugs instead of the Jaguar cannon. This move, the human executives who were watching the battle on the sidelines were all very shocked. In order to win, Ender went so far as to sacrifice the entire fleet. But the colonel had said it long ago, this is just a simulated game. At that moment, the partner said his fighter was destroyed. Another partner's fighter was also destroyed. But Ender said he didn't care about the other ships and only protected the Jag Tigger.
Ready, Petra?
In 60 seconds. What am I aiming for?
Planet thousands of human warships were destroyed one after another. The protective layer is about to be completely breached by the insects, and it will take another 30 seconds for the mega energy to finish. And the chaotic battlefield, Lily couldn't aim at all. So Ender gave the order again. Ordered all the warships at the front to charge forward like bullets. Charge forward like bullets. Drill a hole in the swarm, clearing a clear path for Lily. Peter now.
7 seconds. They've broken the shield.
Fire, Petra, we're out of time!
At the last moment, the Star Destroyer cannon finally finished storing energy. With the firing of the Star Annihilator cannon, the insect Mother Star instantly began to destroy at a speed visible to the naked eye. It didn't take long to cover the entire planet. Ender was happy. They had finally won the game. But at this time, the human executives gathered together like they were discussing something. Immediately after a command was issued, real images suddenly appeared on the big screen. At this time, the insect race's home planet was like a hell on Earth. Everywhere was in ruins. Ender then realized he had just commanded a real war, and under his command, at the cost of tens of thousands of human lives, slaughtering an entire bug civilization. But the colonel said there was nothing else they could do. If the bugs don't disappear, humanity will face extinction. But Ender still couldn't accept it, because he clearly remembers, before he issued the order to attack, the insect race had clearly put up a negotiating stance, showing that they didn't really want to start a war either. The colonel hurriedly chased after him and wanted to continue explaining, but at this point Tender had long since broken down.
Stay away from me! You
You lied lie, the Colonel explains to Ender that he didn't tell him the truth because he was afraid Ender wouldn't be able to handle it. But Ender says he just wiped out an entire race, and that the other side doesn't want to start a war. Instead, they want to negotiate with the humans. But the Colonel says that tens of thousands of people in the fighters Ender just abandoned also died. Ender counters that he gave them up to win the race. The Colonel says yes, they died honorably for humanity. Ender says they probably didn't have to die at all. He himself will forever carry the shame of slaughtering his race. The Colonel reassures Ender that he will be remembered as a hero. Ender says he will be remembered as a killer. We
I will
won.
be remembered as a killer.
We won! That's all that matters.
Matters seeing that Ender was about to lose control. The Colonel hurriedly ordered his men to inject him with a tranquilizer, and in the dream world, Ender saw the Bug Queen again. She had often seen her in the consciousness game before. This time Ender finally realized it turned out that the Queen had been hinting at him non-stop in the previous games. So Ender defied his teammates to come to the Bug home planet. Finally found it, the scene he saw in the game before, and here, he did meet the long-awaited Bug Queen, although he knew that it was Ender who slaughtered her race. But the Queen didn't hurt Ender. Instead, she gently wiped away the tears on his face. Then she entrusted her only offspring to Ender. It was the last hope of the Bug race, and Ender did not fail the Queen. He first returned to the base, resigned his position as fleet commander, and then he piloted the ship without hesitation. He began to cruise through space, to fulfill the promise he made to the Queen of the Bug race, to find a new home for the insect race. However, no one can be sure whether the bugs will rise again. After the rise of the insect army, will they take revenge on the human race?